Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the LOM podcast. I'm your host, Jay Lyons. Welcome back. Another week, another episode. You know what it is and what it do. Episode 60. Finally made it to 60. I don't know why I said finally, but we finally made it to 60. Just 9 more episodes, and then we're going to have the greatest episode ever. Yeah, so I know last episode at the end, I said that I was gonna have a guest on for this episode. Maybe they came back to me and they said that they have final projects that was coming up and they weren't finished, and so they weren't gonna be able to come in and do the podcast. At least not for this past week, not for this episode. I mean, this episode right now. So we rescheduled. So they're still coming on at some point. But I do have a guest planned for next episode as well. So I guess he's going to be my first guest. But honestly, I don't blame him because, I got a lot of projects to do too. Because this week is my last week for all my classes. So I got final projects due. So I've been catching up on a lot of work this past weekend. So no fun for me this past weekend. just a lot of work. And we haven't even started our second short film, dude. Like, I know I said last episode that, we were going to go filming because I was all upset that my allergies were going to get fucked up. But our actress literally came to us like the night before. Like, it was like 11 o'clock at night the night before, okay? Just like 12 hours away from us officially filming. Just 12 hours away, which I know sounds like a lot, but it's really not a whole lot of time when you think about it. Like 7 to 8 of those hours, you're supposed to be asleep, So like, really doesn't leave you a whole lot of time. But luckily, I was awake for that, and I get this text, and she's like, "Oh, by the way, guys, I'm not gonna be able to film tomorrow because I'm sick." And she starts going into the whole story of, how she knew like days before. She told us she knew like days before, like, because I think this was like a Monday because we were filming on Tuesday. So this was Monday night. And she was telling us that she knew since last week on Wednesday that she wasn't feeling well. And she just never told us leading up until 11 o'clock the night before that there was a possibility that we won't be able to film. And I know that probably she was trying to have an optimistic outlook and being like, hey, look, I know I'm sick on Wednesday this week, but, by Tuesday next week, I should be fine. But I mean, also, like, at what point do you think it's appropriate to tell your group that you're not going to be able to film because you're sick? Like, I would be like, dude, if I'm still sick on Monday, like when I wake up, if I still feel shitty, I'm just going to tell them, guys, look, I'm probably not going to be able to film tomorrow because I'm not feeling well, right? You don't even have to officially cancel, but just sort of be on the heads up because I'm still not feeling well today. So I'm probably not going to be well tomorrow, but we'll see, right? And then I could just be like, okay, so plan for us not recording, but also plan on maybe still recording. Like, I don't mind that. Because, you're sick. Obviously, your health is a priority. So, but yeah, but she told us at like 11 o'clock the night before. And luckily, I was awake because I was like watching a movie or something. And I read that text and, and all the shit that we went through with the last film and all this, I was just like, I'm not even gonna respond. But, we ended up responding at some point and we're like, okay, fine, whatever. It's all cool, but we definitely got to film soon, right? So on Tuesday is usually our class time. That was when we were going to record. And so like I meet with my production team that day in class and I'm like, look, we got to get some filming done, right? And we talked to our teacher about the situation because I had emailed the tech guy who I guess is the assistant professor or whatever. I emailed him to check out some equipment, right? And so he's like, oh, do you guys still need that? And I'm like, no, we're not filming today. Our actress is out sick. And he's like, oh, really? And I was like, yeah, she didn't tell us until last night at 11. right? And so they gave us an extension. Like we're able. It's not like we have to have it completely finished by this week, which is kind of a blessing. But I still want to get it done this week because I mean, the semester's over after this week, and I just want it to be over. Like, I don't want to have to drag this out longer than it has to be. So, dude, I don't care if the film is like shitty acting wise, as long as the production and editing is just like good. That's fine. I don't really give a shit because then we're gonna get 100 because the production was good. Because we're not getting graded on the acting, so we're just gonna be like, yo, just speak your lines. Like, don't even act. I know that's like the norm for you guys, but I'm sorry, they're not that bad. I kind of feel bad sometimes when I come onto this show and I just like shit on the actors. They're not bad people, okay? Like, they're just not the best actors on the face of the planet, you know? And they give us a hard time every once in a while, but they're good. They're fine people. I'm happy that they're helping us, you know? But I mean, they're kind of required to because it's for a grade for their class too, so... But yeah, so we're planning on filming tomorrow. So we'll see what happens. I don't know. I don't know if it's actually going to follow through. I won't know until 11 o'clock tonight. Because that's probably when our actress will text us and be like, oh, by the way, guys, I'm still sick. You know, but she shouldn't be because she told us that her doctor told her she was going to be totally fine Thursday and Friday of last week. So she should be good. Here's hoping, because we got to get this film done. Okay, like we have to get this done. Because also, like, we have to edit it, and I don't have Adobe Premiere Pro on my home computer, right? I do all the editing on the school lab computers because it's like it's there for free for me. I mean, free in quotations because, you know, I pay tuition, so it's not really free, but you know, it's free in a sense. But if the semester ends and school closes, like, where the fuck am I going to edit? You know, I don't... I mean, I have a different editing software on my laptop, but I don't know. It's kind of a pain in the ass, though, to do it on my home computer, because my home computer is, like, so glitchy. It's the thing that sucks. I don't know what's wrong with it. Like, it does, like, the most random shit sometimes. You know, it doesn't load sometimes. Like, it takes like 5,000 clicks for me to open up OBS so I can just record this podcast. And then my editing software, it just crashes sometimes. Like, I'm just in the middle of editing and I just like cut a clip and then the whole thing crashes. And it's like, whoa, an error occurred. We don't know what happened. Can you explain to us what happened? Like, you know, like they do like that thing where they're like, hey, let us know what happened. And then you're supposed to like give a description of what happened. And I was like, what do you mean? You just told me what happened. It's like, uh-oh, your application crashed unexpectedly. Please explain the situation. And I'm like, the situation is it crashed unexpectedly. If I knew why it crashed, I wouldn't need to tell you because I just wouldn't do what I did the last time. But yeah, I never send that stuff. Like, I mean, I click send report, but I never type anything because it's like, I don't know what you want me to say other than it crashed. I always, like, I used to type stuff and I would be like, I was just doing editing and it crashed. Like the Halloween special that I did months ago, that was a pain in the ass to edit because, I mean, I swear that thing crashed on me like 100 times while I was like trying to edit it. And also, like, it's not like every time, you know, sometimes when you reopen like an application that crashed, like Word or something like that, it'll be like, hey, look, we managed to recover this, right? If you forgot to save or something like that, like, hey, we managed to recover this, and it's basically exactly where you left off because there's like automatic saving all the time. This editing software doesn't have that. It just reloads your last save. And so I remember one time I just opened up a new project, and I usually, right when I open a new project, I immediately save it. But for whatever reason, when I started the Halloween special, I completely forgot to do that. And so I just open it up, I bring in the clips, sync up the audio, I start like cutting, and I get like a good 10 minutes of the editing done, right? The first 10 minutes of the video, and then the thing crashed. And then when I opened it back up again, I didn't have anything because I didn't save it. And I was like, I just lost the first 10 minutes of that film. I mean, not really. I still had all the original files saved, but I had to re-edit everything. And I'm like, you gotta be shitting me, dude. And also, it's like, it's really slow sometimes, you know, especially when with editing. It's really fucking slow. And I'm just like, God damn it, dude. I need to have like one work computer and like one personal computer. One where because, you know, I have games on this computer, though I don't play on the computer anymore because, I mean, this thing is fucking shit now. So I only play on my PlayStation 5 now. But yeah, like, I just need to have two separate computers, you know, one work and one just like personal. And then I could probably get Adobe Suite on the work computer, and I could just run everything super smoothly. You know, I even thought about getting like those like Mac Mini things, you know, from Apple, where it's like a computer, but it's in like that little square puck thing. I thought about getting one of those, just like purely for work, just so I can get Adobe Premiere on it and just edit my videos on it. But it's also a lot of money. But yeah, I don't know why I'm complaining about my laptop. But anyways, so something I found out this week is 50 Shades of Grey is owned by Universal. I did not know that. You know, I've okay. I'm gonna say right now, I've seen all three. Okay, I've seen all the 50 Shades movies, and really, the first one is the only pretty good one. Like the other two are like weird. And I know that's kind of redundant because we're talking about the 50 Shades franchise or whatever the fuck you want to call it, the 50 Shades trilogy. But really, like the second and third ones are just like, I'm like, what the fuck is going on? But yeah, I found out that 50 Shades franchise is owned by Universal, and I was like, you know what? When are we gonna get a 50 Shades of Grey ride at Universal? I mean, that is a great franchise to make a ride about. You know what? They just got rid of Shrek 4D at Universal. They should turn that theater into a 50 Shades of Grey show, for a 4D show, so you can experience the action. Like the chairs move, you know? The chairs move when they're like getting into it, you know? And then like when the whip cracks, like wind just like blows past your face or something like that, you can like really feel the action. And then like they spray you with water when he comes. I'm telling you, man, it'll be a great ride. Oh my God. I was dying just thinking about it. Like the other day when I found out that the 50 Shades of Grey franchise was owned by Universal, I was just like, dude, that would be an incredible ride. No. Not like that. Not like a ride, but you're just riding Grey. You get in like the Grey Mobile. Right around Seattle. Oh my God, dude. But yeah, you know, like the second and third movies, they start getting into like this weird storyline of like Christian Grey's like friend or something like that from the adoption center, who like now wants to take down Christian because he's rich or something or other, and he becomes like this whack job dude, and he's like trying to kill what's her face, the main character chick, Steele something Steele. He's like trying to kill her or something, and I'm like, dude, what happened to this movie being about some like really weird fetishes? Oh man, it's no, but like all those movies are wild. Like I can't even believe that movie was like actually made. You know, like I know it was a book and stuff like that, but like I have never heard of the book before like the movie came out, you know? And it's like, dude, really? Universal, you guys looked at this book and you were like, this has great potential to be a movie. I mean, were the other two movies based off the book, or is that like the studio trying to milk the franchise because the first one made so much money because it's like a porno for everyone, you know? It's a porno that you can watch on the big screen. You know, then they're like, you know what, we can make a lot of money from this, you know? Like what's the saying? Like that sex sells or something like that? Sex and violence. I mean, they're not wrong. But they didn't have any violence in the, well, okay, I take that. I was going to say they don't have violence in the first one, but what the fuck am I talking about? That's literally the entire plot of the movie. But I mean, like, there's not like violence in terms of guns, you know? But then they brought that in the second and third one because they're like, you know what? We need more guns in this fetish movie. You know what this porno needs? It needs guns. But yeah, like the guy's like, he's trying to steal. Okay, so I only watched the second and third one once. I've seen the first one like twice, but so I don't really remember that much. But I think the dude, he's like trying to kill the steel chick, or he's like, or he wants her or something like that. I don't remember. But also he wants a lot of money. So like he's like, yo, tell your husband to give me a lot of money. Oh yeah, spoiler alert. Steel and Gray, they get married. But yeah, like he wants a lot of money. I'm like, dude, what is going on? You know? If someone was to tell me that, like, after you watch the first one, they're like, oh yeah, and then in the next two, there's gonna be a guy that wants a lot of money from Christian Grey, I'm gonna be like, what? Money has nothing to do with the first one. Why are we bringing in money? But yeah, dude, Universal needs to make a 50 Shades of Grey ride. And yeah, I mean, you already got rid of Shrek. You have the perfect theater for that. You got a bunch of horn dogs who can come in and just sit there, just re-ride the same ride the entire day. You know, they just like get out and like, dude, I gotta fucking see that again. I want to get fucking drenched again. Dude, that would be really whack. You wear like 3D glasses too. His dick just like comes out of the screen. You just see like all the girls reaching out trying to grab it. Oh my god, dude. That'd be so fucking funny. And the best part is that it's like right across from Despicable Me. So it's like a family ride, and then right across from it is like a porno. Oh my god. I can't believe Universal made that ride. They didn't make a ride. They made the movie. I can't believe they made the movie. That's like crazy. It's so funny sometimes when you watch a movie and you see some like really weird like studios that make the movies. You know, it's like, what? I had no idea that this was made by like this studio or whatever. And sometimes they're like really crazy. Like I was watching Mission Impossible. I was watching Mission Impossible like 5. Okay, so like they're well on being a very popular franchise, right? And like one of the studios that helped make the movie was called like China Movie Group. And I'm like, dude, that sounds like the most sketch studio on the face of the planet. China Movie Group? I mean, what if I just made like Florida TV organization? Like that's essentially the same thing. Hey, we'll make your TV show, the Florida TV organization. The Florida TV org. You know, I just thought that was weird. I was watching. I've never noticed that before. I've seen the movie many times, but I've never noticed that was made by like the China Movie Group. And I was like, what the fuck? You know, you would think a franchise like Mission Impossible being as popular as it is now, like you would get some like big name studios to make the movie, like Universal or something like that. Or even like New Line Cinema, Paramount, Columbia. But no, we got the China Movie Group. I mean, hell, even Original Film would be a better studio to go with. But China Movie Group? What the fuck? The movie doesn't even take place in China. There is no China in that entire movie. Why right? Yeah, there's no China in that movie. I had a brain fart. The third one has China in it. He goes to China in the third one, which, by the way, the third one is not made by the China Film Group or Movie Group, whatever they're called. And I'm like, oh, okay. So the one movie that actually takes place in China is not made by the China Film Group. But the one that takes place in like Morocco and London, I believe part of it is in London, but Morocco and London, oh yeah, China Movie Group. Of course. Why wouldn't they make the movie? It's just so weird when you see it when it's like Skydance and then it's China Movie Group and then it's Bad Robot and it's like, okay, you got 2 out of the 3 being like a well-known movie studio and then you got China Film Group. What the fuck? Honestly, I'm surprised it's not made by like Universal. You would think that would totally be a Universal franchise, because they got Fast and Furious. So like, why wouldn't they have Mission Impossible? I don't know. Universal can make a lot of different rides though, because I mean, they have so many movies that like I find crazy that they actually have. Like I believe they also made Ted, and I'm like, that's fucking nuts too. You know what I mean? But yeah, a lot of discoveries this past week, even though I was doing a whole lot of work. But yeah, I've had to take a lot of photographs for like my photography class, and I had to do like this whole essay about like future photography technology or something. The fuck, and then I had to like reply to like 2 other people, and you had to provide like a link because it was like a 2-page essay, right? And you had to provide a link of your essay in the discussion. Then you had to reply to 2 people, and I'm like, are you telling me that I have to sit here and read 2 people's papers just so I can comment on it and hope that I'm not just regurgitating what they just said? Like I was nervous about it because like I would just look at the titles of like what they were talking about. Like one was like 3D photography, and I did not read the paper. So I hope that what I commented on the paper, he didn't mention in the paper, because then the teacher would be like, okay, you literally just said what he just said in the paper. You didn't bring anything new to the table. Because, of course, you can't just reply with, wow, great read. Good job, dude. Like you got to actually provide some substance to your comment. And so I'm like, okay. Like I talked about using it for like augmented reality purposes, and I'm like, I hope to God you did not mention augmented reality in your paper, or else the teacher knows that I totally did not read your paper, and she'll be like, well, you're not getting a grade for that because you didn't do what you were supposed to do. But yeah, you're just hoping. But yeah, I mean, I wrote about like sort of like the Tesla cameras, stuff like that, and how like they can map the environment for like autopilot and shit like that. And I just made up a bunch of bullshit, to be honest. You just re-say the same sentence but in a different way, just so you can reach that like word limit. But in our case, it was a page limit. So once I hit 2 pages, I was like, boom, I'm done. And then, you had to provide like 3 sources. So I did, and one of them was Wikipedia, which I know usually teachers are like, don't use Wikipedia, but she didn't tell us not to use it, so it's a legitimate source in my opinion, and plus I actually used it, so that's part of the thing that always like I thought was crazy back in school. Whenever you do like a research paper where they're like, oh, you can't use Wikipedia because the sources aren't reliable. Dude, literally what I would do with all those research papers, because I can mention this now because you can't fucking change my grade now. It's already in the system. I already got my transcripts, bitch. But what I would do is I would just go on Wikipedia and just do all my research, write up my paper, and then when they're like, "Oh, you got to provide like certain amount of sources," and one of them cannot be Wikipedia because they're not reliable or some bullshit. All I did was I just went online and then just found sources that mentioned stuff that I talked about on my paper, and then just provide those links. I mean, most of the time, like I would just scroll down to the Wikipedia's works cited and just go to the sites that these people used to write the Wikipedia page. I went to those and I was like, here we go. This is my source. Because technically it is. Because I never understood the argument of like Wikipedia isn't reliable, because it's like literally Wikipedia is a culmination of like thousands of websites that talk about certain specific aspects of like a larger topic, so to speak. And all Wikipedia does is just combine all those into one page, so you can just be on one website and read everything. And in order to make changes on Wikipedia, you have to grow your rep on Wikipedia in order to be trusted to provide information that is accurate. And also I believe you have to provide a link of where you got that information. And then they even fact check you. Like, do you know how many times I've tried to edit something on Wikipedia and then within like an hour, they're like, you're wrong? But I will say, okay, there is one instance where Wikipedia was not accurate. So, I went to high school. One of my friends was supposedly a golf prodigy, okay? It was fucking crazy, okay? I didn't believe him, but I think he was actually in Sports Illustrated when he was like a kid or something like that. Like they did like this whole article on him, and he played golf, right? And he has a Wikipedia page, right? And so when he was telling us this, I'm like, dude, there's no way, like this is insane. There's no way I'm sitting next to this golf prodigy. There's no way I'm sitting next to this celebrity, so to speak, So I look him up, and sure enough, he has a Wikipedia page, and I'm going to kind of call him out. Hope he doesn't mind. I mean, he's got a goddamn Wikipedia page and is in Sports Illustrated. He doesn't mind. His nickname is Four, okay? And he's Four because he's the fourth in his family. Like, he's the fourth. You know how there's like junior and then like the third? Well, he's the fourth, right? So his nickname is Four because he's the fourth. But on the Wikipedia page, they say that he's called Four because that's what you say as like a heads up in golf, I believe. And he's like, and when I read that, he's like, that's not true. It's because I'm the fourth. And so I was like, oh, okay. Finally, I can make an accurate correction on Wikipedia. So like I went in and I'm all proud of myself. I'm like, dude, I got firsthand knowledge from the celebrity himself where his nickname actually came from. And so I changed it, and I'm like, Four is because he's the fourth in his family, right? And I saved it, and I was feeling pretty good about myself. I was like, I just made a contribution to society, okay? I just helped people get more accurate information off of Wikipedia, So take that, teachers. Wikipedia is a reliable source sometimes. But then, like, after a few hours, Wikipedia is like, we noticed that you made an incorrect change to this page, so it's been reverted. And I'm like, dude, how could it be incorrect if I got firsthand knowledge? The dude himself spoke it to me in words. He said he's the fourth in his family, so that's why he's called Four. And I tried to change it again, and then I got banned. I had to make an account in order to make it change, and then my account got banned. Because I kept trying to change it, because I was like, no, Wikipedia, trust me, I'm right. Okay? It's because he's the fourth. And they're like, due to your numerous incorrect changes, you have been banned from making any sort of edits on Wikipedia. And I was like, fuck you. I'm sure if you go to his Wikipedia page still, it probably still says the wrong thing. It's like, oh, he's named Four because that's what you say in golf or whatever. And it's even spelled different, I think. Isn't it? Isn't Four in golf, isn't it like Fore or something like that? And then he's Four because he's number 4, so it's Four, Four. That is how you spell Four, right? Whatever. I think that's how you spell Four. But yeah, like, I have firsthand knowledge. How are you going to tell me I'm wrong? How are you going to tell me I'm wrong? The dude himself was sitting right here, and he told me. I remember it like it was yesterday. But yeah, so that was the only instance where I ever went to Wikipedia, got information, and it turned out it was wrong. Every other time, like I've never turned in a research paper where I got all my research off of Wikipedia, and the teacher was like, actually, all this stuff is wrong. Because, 99 or 98% of the time, the information on Wikipedia is reliable. I don't get why people say it's not. I mean, even though my contribution to my friend's Wikipedia page was accurate, the fact that since I didn't provide a source that said that, and also probably because I didn't have any sort of credibility, this was like my first edit to a Wikipedia page. They're like, we have no evidence that what you said is true, so we're going to go back to the old way, where somewhere this dude provided evidence that he was called 4 because of golf. And I sure hope it wasn't just because he's a golf prodigy, because that's a really stupid piece of evidence. But yeah. Wikipedia is reliable though, guys. Sometimes, but most of the time. But anyways, I think that's going to wrap it up for this episode of Lion on Main. I've been your host, Jay Lyons. Whenever you guys listen to this on, make sure to like, subscribe, and follow, and leave a review. All that really helps me out a lot. Make sure to share this with everyone that you know. And follow me on social media at RealJLyons and at Lion on Main on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. And yeah, I think that's it. Universal, make a 50 Shades of Grey ride. Love you. I don't know. Do I?